How do mutations drive evolution for the GED test? Imagine a world where every living thing was exactly the same. No change, no new traits, no way to adapt. That's not how life works. Mutations are the tiny changes that make all the difference. They are the starting point of evolution. Without mutations, species wouldn't change or survive new challenges. So, how do these small changes actually lead to big differences over time? Let's find out. Mutations are random alterations in the DNA, which is the genetic material inside every cell. They happen naturally and all organisms experience them. Most mutations are harmless or have no effect at all. But some can change how genes work or what traits an organism has. The key thing to remember is that only mutations that can be inherited matter for evolution. These are called germline mutations because they occur in reproductive cells like eggs and sperm. Mutations in other body cells do not get passed down and don't influence evolution. When a mutation happens, it creates new genetic variation in a population. For example, in a group of birds, a mutation might give some a slightly longer beak. This variation means some birds are different from others. Now, natural selection comes into play. It is the process where certain traits are more likely to help an organism survive and reproduce. If a longer beak helps a bird find food more easily, that bird is more likely to have babies. Those babies will inherit the longer beak trait. Over many generations, this beneficial mutation becomes more common. This is how evolution happens in real life. Think about bacteria and antibiotic resistance. When antibiotics are used, bacteria with mutations that resist the medicine survive. The non-resistant bacteria die off. The resistant bacteria reproduce and pass on their resistance genes. Soon, most bacteria in that environment are resistant. This rapid change shows how mutations can lead to new traits that help organisms survive in their environment. Sometimes mutations are beneficial, like humans developing lactose tolerance. In some populations, a mutation allows adults to digest milk. This trait gave people an advantage when dairy farming became common. Other times, mutations are harmful, causing diseases like cystic fibrosis. But many mutations are neutral, meaning they do not affect survival or reproduction at all. They just exist in the genetic code. Mutations can also add new genes or change how existing genes are expressed. Some mutations turn genes on or off, influencing traits in different ways. It's important to understand that mutations are the raw material for evolution. They create the variation that natural selection acts upon. Without mutations, species would not be able to adapt to changing environments. Another concept to know is genetic drift. It is a random change in gene frequency that can happen in small populations. Sometimes, a mutation might become common or disappear just by chance, not because it helps or harms the organism. So, in summary, mutations are the starting point of evolution. They generate new traits, some of which can give organisms an advantage. Natural selection then favors these beneficial traits, making them more common over time. This process explains how species change and adapt through generations. Understanding how mutations drive evolution is key to grasping the bigger picture of life science and natural selection.